I am Shiv Shankar Pal. Here I will discuss about business strategy and its applications and uh, its application. So this is the introduction of business strategy episode 1. So let's move into this place. The strategy required for business performance is a lot like the strategy required to climb a mountain. You must carefully analyze the external environment, use insight about that environment to acquire right resources and build right capabilities, and then execute a tightly integrated and well timed sequence of tactical moves. Our goal is to give you access to tools, logics, and frameworks to help you better climb the mountain in business and help you achieve the success you dream about. What makes strategy different than other topics? Strategy is a bit different from other management topics, which often focuses on individual pieces of the businesses like accounting, marketing, finance, and information system. In contrast, strategy focuses on the entire business as a whole. By making this holistic approach, we will be asking really big picture questions about how to run a business, such as what determines how well a business performs, why do some companies succeed while other companies fail, what if anything you managers actually do about it. The benefit of a good strategy. A good strategy serves as an effective boundary maker for a company. Most people recognize that a good strategy helps a company decide what to do, but it also helps companies decide what not to do. When we have a clear strategy that we understand, we know how to better serve the market where we compete, and we also have clear no criteriations, meaning that we have clear rules for when to say no. Companies constantly face opportunities to do new things and grow in new directions, but companies with good strategies are able to determine which of these opportunities fit and which one do not. Let's take an example of a Hulu, a media streaming company. One interesting illustration of this is Hulu, an online media streaming service that were founded as a joint venture of several major media companies at the time, when televisions and movies delivery technology was shifting from over the air broadcast, cable, and DVDs to streaming. Given its founding by traditional media companies including ABC, NBC, Fox, Time Warner, it is not surprising that Hulu's business model include attracting customers through high quality content and then selling customers' eyeballs to advertisers. Thus, Hulu was founded with a strategy that relied on making money through a combination of subscription service sold to customer and spot sold to companies hoping to advertise their products or services. They did this very effectively as they developed capabilities to work with advertisers and as they acquire and deliver high quality content that consumers really like. Thus, their strategy to compete effectively for both subscription and advertising dollar guide them in what resources and capabilities to develop, as well as what tactical moves to make. But even paid subscriber had a view advertisement on watching their preferred programming on Hulu. Users were often frustrated, believing that they should not have advertisement with the premium services. But Hulu was actually very strategic about their decision to keep advertisement in a premium service. The premium users, while an important source of revenue, but were not actually Hulu's most important customer. The advertisers were the core customer, and Hulu users are actually the product Hulu was selling to those advertisers. Thus, when premium users ask for no ads, Hulu simply say no. Because eliminating ads was inconsistent with their core strategy at the time. In this case, Hulu's strategy helped clarify both what they said yes as well as what they said no to do. We use various tools to analyze a strategy, and here we will discuss about tools of strategy. As we will see in subsequent topics, business success occurs at the intersection of a market opportunity and firm's ability to capitalize on that opportunity. And thus, the tool of strategy will help you simultaneously analyze market opportunities or the external business environment, as well as the firm's internal resources and capabilities, or the extent to which the firms can effectively compete. While learning strategy, you will become familiar with many approaches, frameworks, modules, and theories such as external analysis, such as five forces and pest analysis, competitive dynamics, internal analysis, such as a resource or capability analysis, and barrier to imitations, and so forth. Often, these are studied on one at a time in isolation without necessarily thinking about their limitations or how they can be used in combinations. We want to be sure that you understand the strength and limitation of each tools and accordingly help you develop a strategist intuitions for when and how to appropriately use the tools. Otherwise, you just end up with a messy drawer full of tools, making it difficult to decide which tool to use, and you may even end up trying to use the wrong tools for the given job. The real power of the strategy tools comes when you can pull out the right tool and use it appropriately, and when you can effectively use the tools together. When you can do this well, then your insight will be very powerful. Fourth is, so this is a building a strategy. What are the steps we need to take in order to develop or diagnosing our strategy? So before we dive into the actual strategy tool themselves, we want to give you a high level overview of the four key ways strategists use their tools and frameworks, which we refer to as the 4Ds. A framework for thinking about strategy developed by Mike Hendren. And these are describe, diagnose, develop, and deploy, and we briefly introduce each here. First and most fundamental way to use strategy tool is simply describe a strategy and the current strategic state of a business. Can you explain what a business is doing or attempting to do in a clear, coherent, understandable manner that covers the key areas of strategy? This is critical for both the executive who are managing the strategy as well as employees who are expected to execute the strategy. For example, in what competitive environment is the company competing and how is that company trying to win in that environment? Effectively describing strategy ensure that we are all on the same page on what to say yes or to what to say no to. The description phrase is a bit like going in for a routine checkup with your doctors where you provide some basic personal information like age, occupations, heights, blood type, allergies, level of routine activity, etc. And then have other basic health indicators measured like heart rate, blood pressures, and cholesterol level. Your doctor takes a look at all of these indicators and then can describe your current state of health. The second way to use strategy tool is to diagnose a situation. Often we begin thinking about strategy when things start go badly for a company, or perhaps when we are incredibly successful. Naturally, we then want to understand why things are going well, and is a business succeeding or failing, why, what might be wrong with the strategy. Consider a doctor trying to diagnose illness and or injury in a patient by observing symptoms, conducting additional tests, and then using her knowledge of philosophy and various conditions obtained in school and through experience. Even if patient is not ill, it can be valuable to make a general diagnosis to ensure the patient is healthy and able to engage in some physically. So this is a diagnosing phase. Okay. So this is a diagnose, and we will discuss later in this topic developing or deploying strategy. So till then, keep learning, keep growing.